My oldest sister is 40. She always wanted to be a mom, but some complications meant she was never able to be a biological mom. In her 20s she met a widower with young kids and married him, admitting her intention was to become a mom through them. Her stepkids were never okay with her like that, and for the last 16 years she has struggled to come to terms with the fact not one of them considers her their mom or embraces her like she would like. This is something she always complains about when she's around our family, especially me and our sisters. 3 years ago one of my sisters was expecting her third child and she was going through a lot and struggling with her pregnancy. She wasn't sure they could handle a third child and worried about financials because her husband had a new job that paid less than his old one. The old one folded a few months before that, and they had already made adjustments to factor in the new household budget. My oldest sister harassed her for months about letting her adopt the baby, going as far as going to our Bill about it and telling him she wanted the baby and he should talk our sister around. It never happened, but it did harm her relationship with the rest of the family. I gave birth to my second child in November and had a procedure to make sure I had no more kids. Both my pregnancies have been awful on my body, and I didn't want to risk putting myself through that again. My sister brought this up last week. She said I was selfish to sterilize myself before offering to be a surrogate for her and that I could have given her my youngest to adopt at the very least. I told her I wanted my kids so I would never ever give one of them up like that. She said her dreams of motherhood were important. I told her nobody owed her motherhood though, and the way she was carrying on was wrong and concerning, and she had brushed aside our concerns before, but she needed to get some help because she can't keep demanding others give her kids. She flipped out and started screaming that as her family we should want to help her reach her dream of motherhood and we should be more understanding because she gets shit on by her stepchildren and doesn't get any of the joy the rest of us have. We have been sensitive for years. We encouraged her to speak to someone countless times. But she keeps going on like this and it is concerning. Her marriage has felt the strain of it all. But I know I might have been harsh saying we didn't owe her motherhood, which is why I'm here. Next story. First, only post. I mainly lurk. I thought stuff like this only happened in movies, but it happened and would like some unbiased opinions. More lighthearted than some of the other posts on here. I have a cousin, Kat, who got married to Henry early this year. We weren't close as kids. She was pretty spoilt and would always brag about how much designer stuff she has, be really mean to people under the guise of just trying to help, etc. Don't go out of our way to interact with one another, but I do see her at family events and whatnot and we make small talk. I'm engaged to Chris, who is a software engineer. He's co-head of his department at work with 2 other people. Not too long ago, Chris was telling me about how they had some new employees and one of them sounded really familiar. He told me the name and I realized it was Kat's husband. Also, he and Henry hadn't met face to face yet. Kat and Henry had a huge wedding. It was really nice, but all she did for months is brag about how amazing her wedding was. The wedding stuff's died down now, so recently she started going on about how wealthy her husband is and what a great lifestyle they have. One of my other aunts celebrated her 50th about a week ago. I went with Chris and Kat was there with Henry. We were chatting and Kat was saying how Henry has a fantastic new job that pays even more than his previous one. Henry chimed in and said that they were already planning to buy a new house. Kat asked what Chris does. I said he was an engineer like Henry and he has a good job too, but I'll admit I left out where he works on purpose. She smiled and nodded, then said it's fine. She understands that I'm embarrassed and want to keep it quiet. So that was pretty much the end of our conversation then. When we were leaving, she pulled me aside and told me to let her and Henry know if we needed help with the wedding. Obviously I knew what she meant and it was just another dig, but I said bye and left. Literally 2 days later, I get a DM from Kat and she's furious, well, as much as one can be through text, that I didn't tell them that Chris was one of Henry's bosses. Henry was shocked to see him in the office and Chris made a comment, "Tell Kat up and me don't need help, but thanks for offering." Henry's really embarrassed and so's Kat, and she said that we made them look bad on purpose and if she knew, she'd have never made those comments. It was my duty to tell her and Henry. Chris and I had a really good laugh over this, but she sent a text out to the family group chat we have saying how she was blindsided by me. A few others said that what we did was petty and wrong.